Hello, Applied Physics students. I'm Mrs. Krumschreider, your teacher for Applied Physics A this trimester. So I am going to go over the syllabus with you at this time just to make sure that you are aware of everything that is in it. So again, I'm Mrs. Krumschreider or Mrs. K. My email address, this is pretty important right now because the easiest way for you to communicate with me is going to be via email if you have a question or a concern. When we are back face to face, you'll come to room 415 for class, and my conference period is first period. So, course description, applied physics, 2 trimester long course designed to study all types of motion, force, work, heat, sound, light, and nuclear physics with less emphasis on advanced math. The understanding of relationships will be developed through reading, discussion, demonstrations, problems, and lab work. Many everyday phenomena will be explained in terms of physics and its principles. It is expected that you have completed or are currently taking Algebra 1, as we will be relying on those skills almost daily. You will also learn techniques for collecting and analyzing data to draw conclusions that are testable and reliable. This class satisfies the chemistry or physics credit needed for graduation. So remember, it doesn't matter where you go to school in the state of Michigan. You are required to take at least 1 year, which is 2 trimesters of chemistry or physics to graduate from any high school in the state of Michigan. Applied Physics A and then Applied Physics B, together those 2 classes fulfill that graduation requirement. Again, these are the topics in general that we're going to cover throughout the first trimester and second trimester. Course goals, leave with an understanding the topics listed above, develop problem solving and critical thinking skills, and collect data and evaluate results. Textbook. So, unfortunately, we don't have enough textbooks. So, notice you're going to have a digital copy provided in Google Classroom. So, there are going to be copies of each chapter that you need of the textbook in Google Classroom. So, that's where you will find them. It is suggested you have a scientific calculator, as we will be doing some math, paper, writing utensil. Okay. So attendance and makeup work, you'll be held responsible for all materials covered in class. It will be much easier for you to keep up if you keep absences to a minimum or watch the videos provided for each lesson in Google Classroom. Physics is a subject that builds upon itself. This means that the mastery of simpler concepts is extremely important for understanding and mastery of other concepts. You are responsible for finding out what you missed when you're absent, including any days you are absent due to COVID. Okay, so please check with a reliable friend in Google Classroom before approaching the teacher. All work is due according to the due dates in Google Classroom for both face-to-face and virtual students, whether you are in school or not. If you are a face-to-face student and miss a day of school, then you are still expected to complete your work by the established due date. Okay, so I have due dates. Every assignment that has to be turned in will have a due date in Google Classroom. You do need to meet that due date. In the event you miss a test or quiz, it's your responsibility to make it up as soon as possible. Okay. Again, both face-to-face and virtual students will be expected to take all assessments through Google Classroom using Google Forms. These assessments will be available the day of the assessment and are expected to be taken on that date. So, with us being fully virtual right now, communication with the teacher is fairly important. So all communication with the teacher is expected to occur during normal school hours on school days, thus from 7:45 a.m. until 3:15 p.m. Monday through Friday. Email is the preferred method of communication. You need to email from your school email address. If your parents or guardians have a question for me and they want to email me, just make sure that they check that email account regularly. And again, just like my email address was up at the top, it's right here again for you. Communication. Okay, so again, while we're virtual, we have to have two-way communication. Okay, so communication is required to be two-way, so back and forth with students. Communicating with your parents does not count. A minimum of twice per week defined as Wednesday to Wednesday. This communication must be academic in nature and should be initiated by the student. Submitting assignments and taking assessments does count, but students should still email to communicate concerns or questions. So on days that there's an assignment due, which is one of the reasons why most every day you'll have an assignment in my class, On days that you have assignments due, turning in your assignment counts for attendance, and I can mark you present. What you're going to see in your attendance record when you're virtual is you'll see a 2. A 2 means there was two-way communication. That means you turned in an assignment or you took a test or quiz that was present or in class that day. Okay, so 2s are good. A V is a good. That means that you had like a Google Meet or something, and so you were counted as present. W's, those are bad. Okay, that means that you didn't do anything. Face-to-face students fulfill this communication requirement by being physically present in class, but do need to follow these guidelines during any periods of 100% virtual learning, whether as a school or district or due to quarantine related to COVID. So when and if we're back face-to-face, you won't have to worry about submitting or like attendance in the 2s, okay, for your attendance. But as long as we are virtual, that is very important. Okay, so turn in your assignments on time, take tests and quizzes on time. Those count for your attendance. Assignments will only be accepted through Google Classroom, requiring students to have internet access at home and a device capable of supporting Google Classroom. Assignments may be typed using Google Docs, or a photo of handwritten assignments may be submitted in Google Classroom. Worksheet assignments may be either typed up with only the answers using Google Docs, printed by the student, handwritten to complete, and then a photo submitted. Or if you don't have a printer at home, you can just handwrite the answers on a separate sheet of paper, take a picture of it, and submit it. This is important. Okay. Students will be responsible for using a key or homework check video provided by the teacher to verify the accuracy of homework assignments following submission. Okay. Teaching online, I have a lot to do with making videos and such. I teach 4 different classes right now. Okay. So that means daily I have at least 4 videos to make. So I don't have time to check your homework assignments for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a key posted at 7 p.m. the day an assignment is assigned. And at the bottom of my Google Classroom, you'll find the homework answer keys, and you should use that key to verify your answers on your assignment. Assignment due dates. You'll have until 2:30 p.m. on the day an assignment is due to submit the assignment using Google Classroom. Right? If it's not submitted by 2:30, then it's late and you're going to get half credit for it. So here's how things work for me. If we have an assignment assigned today, it will be due tomorrow by 2:30. Okay? My intention is if I assign something today, I expect you to actually do it today. And as soon as you do it, you should go ahead and turn it in. Okay? So again, my expectation with assignments is that you complete them the day that they are assigned. As soon as you finish them, go ahead and turn them in. I give you until the following day at 2:30 to get them finished and turned in. But the next day you'll have a new assignment that you need to do. So it's better if you do the assignment the day it's assigned and turn it in that day. Assessments, okay, will only be accepted through Google Classroom. All assessments are open book, open note for all students. And you'll have until 11:59 p.m. on the day an assessment is due to submit the assessment using Google Classroom. So I set up everything in Google Classroom to post at 8 a.m. So everything you need to do and need for the day will be available to you at 8 a.m. With homework's due the following day by 2:30. With tests or quizzes, the final exam when it comes time, that'll be available at 8 a.m. and you'll have until 11:59 p.m. that evening to complete it. Most of these expectations really apply more to being in class. Okay, so we'll kind of skip over those for now. The Warriors' expectations. You'll notice there's kind of an online learning one here, so maybe we'll take a look at that, right? These are the we are ready to be respectful, which is characterized by or showing politeness or kindness. This means being courteous. So in a class meeting, if we have one, keep microphone on mute unless you have something to say. Keep comments polite and school appropriate. for interdependent, so helping yourself and others to improve the environment. A synonym being connected. Check your Google Classroom daily for assignments. I would suggest first thing in the morning when you get up. Submit all your assignments using Google Classroom on or by the due date. Organized, which means having a system or being well ordered. Submit your assignments for the correct assignment in Google Classroom, so make sure, be careful when you're uploading your assignments that you're selecting the correct file. Responsible, accountable for something within one's power, same as being competent. Make sure your submitted assignments are well labeled and easily readable. So that's especially important if you're taking pictures. Sometimes the pictures are not readable, in which case I may not accept them. So make sure if you're taking pictures that you look at the picture before you submit it and it's actually able to be read. Submit your assignments and take assessments as assigned. And then safe, okay? Only handle your own Chromebook. When we're back face to face, bring your Chromebook and charger to and from class daily, and charge your Chromebook before coming to school. Or I would suggest right now with online learning, overnight while you're sleeping, you make sure your Chromebook is getting charged so that during the day when you need to use it, it's ready to go. Grading. Okay, so we have several different things in this class, right? We have labs, homework, quizzes, tests, projects, papers, an exam. Okay. I feel writing is important, so expect to do most of your assignments in complete sentences and paragraph form. Notice this is pretty important about late work, right? Because late work policies vary a little bit from teacher to teacher. So here's my late work policy. Late work will be accepted for half credit up until the unit test. So I'll take assignments from unit 1 until we take the unit test. Once that unit test is scheduled, I will no longer accept assignments from unit 1. There may be some weekly pop quizzes and unit tests, and I won't take those late unless you have contacted me and explained why it is that you weren't able to take your assessment. And then a reminder, right? The spot where grades are official is in Skyward. So I'm pretty careful and pretty conscientious about putting your grades in Skyward. I try to do that every day, at least once a day. So your best spot to check and see whether or not you're on track and doing what you need to do is Skyward. Now do keep in mind you also can monitor that in Google Classroom, and if ever there's a discrepancy between Google Classroom and Skyward, you need to let me know. So if Google Classroom shows you turned something in and you've gotten credit for it, but in Skyward it doesn't, you just need to send me an email and say, hey, Mrs. K, it shows that homework number 5, I'm going to number all our homework so it's easy to communicate about them. Hey, Mrs. K, homework number 5, in Google Classroom I have 10 points for it, but in Skyward it's not showing that. I'll go and check that. If that's true, then I'm going to fix that grade for you in Skyward. Okay. Official grade is in Skyward. Trimester is going to be based on total points earned through assignments, quizzes, tests, labs, and a comprehensive final exam. And here's the grading scale that everybody uses in the school. Okay. So again, important kind of things, right? Skyward is where you're going to check and see what you have for a grade in the class and that assignments are turned in and that you've gotten credit for them. Okay. Um, Tests, quizzes will become available at 8 a.m. and you have until 11:59 p.m. to take them. Homework assignments and labs and other types of things of that nature, they will be due the day after they are assigned by 2:30 p.m. And for everything that you have to turn in, there will always be a due date in Google Classroom so that you will know, according to Google Classroom, when things need to be turned in. Communication is your attendance. So this is how attendance is taken care of while we're virtual. So you need to turn in your assignments or you're going to be marked absent. You need to take your tests or quizzes on the day they're assigned or you're going to be marked absent. So make sure you are doing those things. You should communicate with me during school hours on school days. Okay. Um, whether you're present or not, you have to do your assignment, okay? So if you are, you need to be watching the videos basically daily. Your textbook will be a digital copy in Google Classroom. And again, my email address is right here at the top. This is posted in Google Classroom under the General Class Resources as your syllabus. So you definitely can review this. If this is something that your parents like to take a look at, then you should definitely pull it up on your Chromebook and show it to them as well. So have a good day. I look forward to working with you in applied physics this trimester.